as you simplify, you begin to get the picture. And you begin to see that the sophist has complicated and has messed it up and has made a faulty interpretation. These faulty interpretations are labor-intensive. It takes an awful lot of effort to support an error. Like you can't trust your senses. It's an illusion. And you have to keep stating it again and again. You have to fire all of the people who don't agree with you. You have to keep cramming it down people's throats because it doesn't fit. Whereas the truth that water is different from air, has a different effect upon the light, and therefore the stick looks bent here, but not when it's all in water, not when it's all air. That's easy to sustain. You don't have to remember the lies that you told yesterday. It's so much easier to always tell the truth. But the sophist has to keep reminding himself of this lie. And he has to keep imposing it, and it wears him out. The truth will set you free. So you're free of the sophist who is busy imposing these things. Socrates freed hundreds of people in Athens. Now, because he did that, and because he was such a virtuous person, the sophists were very angry at him, and they wanted to get rid of him. They thought about it for a long time, and they finally hit upon something very important that Socrates did. It was about God. See, at the time, in round numbers, there were about 3,000 gods that the Greeks worshipped. Some worshiping this one, some worshiping that one, some worshiping a bunch of them, some getting kind of tired. And if something went wrong, if one guy got sick, they'd say, oh, did you offer up a little bull to Zeus? He said, no, I forgot about that. I was worshiping Hera. He said, aha, that's why. And Zeus got you for that. That's the kind of thing that they were doing. Well, Socrates gave it a little thought. And he says, let's simplify. Let's consider only two contestants for God. Right? We got one here. We got another one there. Right? Now, if they are different, one from the other, what is necessary? If one of them is different from the other, it's necessary that one of them have something that the other lacks. They couldn't be different without that. Now, since God is the greatest being, we just solved our puzzle. The one with the extra stuff, the one with the greater being, is God, and the other is an imposter. This is the one that's missing something. So how many gods can there be? One. So, well, what if there are 15? Well, you got the same kind of problem. Right? If they are different, see, then each one is going to have to be lacking something that some other one has, and you can line them up toward the most godly. This is what the sophists hit upon. Socrates says there's only one. about these people who worship 3,000? Socrates is without these other, say, 2,999. So Socrates is without those gods. And that's what theos means. A is without, and theos is God. So Socrates is an atheist. And that's the worst kind of human being. That's the one who has missed the most important being there is. And Athens had a law against that. Athens had seen various atheists and the damage that they had done. So that's a law punishable by death. And to make it even worse, the second thing that they accused him of was teaching this atheism to the kids. So he was corrupting the youth. And these are the trumped up charges that they brought against Socrates. Maybe the first thing you have to consider is whether they are true. Was Socrates an atheist? Was he corrupting the youth? In fact, those were the big problems among the group called the sophists. Now, this is the way that they were able to work it. Because the stench of their own atheism and their own corruption of youth was so thick in the air, they were able to blame it on Socrates. This is the way it worked in Athens so long ago. And they were able, therefore, with the confused judges and the confused juries and, God help us, the confused lawyers, they were able to convict Socrates of things he didn't do. And he was now condemned to death. The way that they did it for somebody was they could either cut off his head or they could make him drink the poison, hemlock. Well, Socrates thought ahead a little bit about it, and he realized this would be kind of a problem. He's 72 years old. He's got children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and they would prefer to take him home all in one piece. Right? So he said he would die by hemlock. Did he commit suicide? No. The Hemlock Society would like to confuse you on that matter. Right?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought he did commit suicide. He had a choice. There were choices.
He was condemned to death. Right?
Yeah, he chose which.
No suicide involved at all. See, we have to keep track of things. Right? No suicide at all. But he could allow them to kill him by cutting off his head or by drinking hemlock. Which is easier on your family and friends if they're going to kill you? To be all in one piece. Right? There's nothing to clean up here. Right? You don't have to get one basket for the body and another one for the head. All right. So, no suicide whatsoever. And yet the sophists of our time have promulgated that error to the nth degree. Now, we shouldn't get angry at them. In fact, we should feel sorry for them, because telling that kind of lie uses up their life energy. See, if they had a life, they wouldn't be busy with this. But because they're doing all that kind of stuff, the whole Hemlock Society and all of the lies that they tell just really wear these people out. No wonder they want to commit suicide. Life is so messy.
How do we know your version is true? Is that historical? That
It's
that he
original,
was
yeah.
given those choices, and that I thought it wasn't one of his students that secreted the hemlock into the prison, and
Wasn't there a spin on it that he had resources he could have got out of town?
Yes.
He could
And
have gone to,
yeah. And see, that's not a spin. It's written up in tremendous detail in the dialogue called Crito. Crito was his oldest and dearest friend. And in the dialogue, Crito proposes to him a bunch of alternatives. He says, look, after all that the sophists have done, we've got these corrupt jailers. All I have to do is put a few drachma in their hands, and they will look elsewhere, and you can escape. Definitely, this was a concrete option. Socrates could have run away. The judges didn't want to put him to death. They knew that the judges would look very bad for killing the most virtuous, the wisest, the greatest philosopher that Athens had ever seen. Right? So they would not even have pursued him. Crito also suggested, we've got all these young guys, your former students, and they've got weapons and they're waiting outside of town, and they will attack and they will kill all the sophists and they will have a civil war, and you can ride in triumphant as the philosopher king. And Socrates takes that apart. He says, lots of innocent people will die. How can I be doing good for people if I ask them to go out and get involved in war? All these innocent people are going to suffer. So he goes through that whole thing in tremendous detail, looking at the various options. He could have been exiled, he could have paid a fine, but instead he was true to the truth. And he recognized that if these sophists succeed in killing me, they are going to promulgate my message more than I have done. So Socrates becomes more influential because he stayed with the truth. Anything else about his witness to the truth?
I kind of think, are you saying that because he accepted that the sentence of death, the death could be the truth?
Well,
Instead of running away or
yeah.
hiding or what?
You see, his willingness to stick with the truth in the face of death shows how strong he was, shows how strong the truth is, shows us how to live, and how to die. And it showed up the sophists. They wouldn't die for anything. They wouldn't even lose a drachma for anything. So it has this tremendous effect upon all of the citizens of Athens. It shows them what commitment to the truth can do. And it inspires plenty. So we, in this little story, don't go into all of the evidence. We don't go into all of the reasons. But you can find copies of the laws which were in effect at the time. And you can know that if the person is condemned to death, they can have their head chopped off,